morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 974. Getting close. Getting close to 1 million Cubs cards. My official count 908. I don't have my sign nearby. 986,600 and some change. I do have some more to add. I'm kind of like I've talked about. I'm kind of pumping the brakes because I need to decide how I'm going to reach the final. How am I going to handle the final mile of getting the last couple thousand Cubs cards? So kind of slowing down. Plus, I have some TV appearances coming up. There's currently a show that will be aired on Marquee Network called Marquee Memorabilia. We did a bunch of filming at the National. That will be airing later this month. Producer reached out to me this weekend and confirmed they're wrapping up production, and it'll be airing later this month. So I'll let you know when he said, hey, we're going to air it this night or whatever. I'll just make sure to pass that along. The Card Life, I think that comes out late. I got to check on that too. So Card Life, they came and filmed here, and then we did another filming in Milwaukee with Matt Stram. So that's coming up, I think, later this month. So I think in both episodes, now the national number will be, I think, my 973,000 number, and then my 986 number will be on the Card Life. And then who knows what the next number will be. So I'm just kind of holding off counting Cubs. By the way, I'm just going to spoil it right out of the bat. I didn't buy it. I've gone to 2 card shows in the last, 2 weeks? 2 weekends in a row. I went to card shows, did not buy a single thing. I'm trying to remember. Did I buy a single thing? No, I did not buy a single thing yesterday. Didn't buy a single card. 2 shows in a row. What the hell has happened to me? It was not the Kane County card show yesterday. I'm going to call it the Kane County Fairgrounds card show. I don't know if it has yesterday was the first one. So I don't know if it has an official. I was calling it the St. Charles card show at the Kane County Fairgrounds. I'm just going to call it the Kane County Fairgrounds show. By the way, monster success. I think everybody left happy despite a lot of uncertainty. Even at 9 a.m. yesterday, James was the only guy at my table, and I'm like, man, this is going to be a rough show. Nah, not the case. I was wrong, just like I was wrong about the Chicago Bears. I'm already waving the white flag on the Chicago Bears. So we'll review the Kane County Fairgrounds card show. Big success yesterday, despite coming home with less cards than I took, which my wife thinks that's what I'm supposed to do. Sometimes I beg to differ, but no, I think it was, I went in, and I think I mentioned this on Friday. I went into the show saying, I don't have any expectations on buying anything. It's not like top of mind. I'm still going through stuff. Although I'm pretty much to the point where I've got everything. But yesterday opened some eyes for the next show that I do, which will be at the Indoor Sports Center in 2 weeks. The Midwest premiere, the 2-day show, Saturday, Sunday, September 23rd and 24th. I did not take all of my new quarter boxes because I wanted to kind of stagger because I'm doing 3 shows this month. So I wanted to, St. Charles is over 2 hours from me. So I knew there was going to be a lot of different customers digging through my boxes, hopefully, right? So that's why I didn't want to just unload all this new stuff. I wanted to take some old stuff, and I was able to move a lot of old stuff. My fresh new boxes were pretty cherry picked, but that's because that's where the good stuff is, right? The best stuff gets taken first, and then so on and so forth. Even though after 10, 12, 20 shows, there's still some diamonds in the rough. There's a lot less diamonds in the rough. So we'll talk Kane County Fairgrounds show. What else? Since I didn't do a show, what else happened this weekend? How was your weekend? Friday night. Oh wait, we did a show. I did a show on Saturday. So Saturday night, my wife had some of her coworker realtor lady friends over. So I just hid in the basement. She's like, "Aren't you going to go out with Mark or one of your friends?" And I'm like, "I don't want to go out because I've got to wake up at 4 a.m. because I've got to drive." It's and I miscalculated in my head how far St. Charles, Illinois was from Madison because I still have this like small town mentality in terms of it takes forever and it's hard to get places. When you grow up in Anawan, that's typically the case. Or even in Macomb is even worse, despite it being, Macomb has stoplights and a Walmart. Anawan has a 4-way stop sign. That's it. But they do have what the hell's the donut place called, or cupcake place. It's right on the corner. It was an ice cream shop when I was in high school. Anyway, it was an easy drive. And the Kane County Fairgrounds are right, like, it's basically, getting to the interstate, which is all like, basic for me, it's like one shot. I get on my little neighborhood road, get out to the main drag that 2 miles later, I'm on the belt line to the interstate, boom. I follow the interstate all the way to Randall Road. And that's my exit, Randall Road exit. And then like 12 miles later, you're at the Kane County Fairgrounds. It's like, damn, this is easy. However, I've traversed Randall Road often with friends in Crystal Lake, and it's a pain in the ass, man. There's stoplights every half mile. There's traffic out the ass. It's like, oh shit, I've got Randall Road to deal with. Well, Randall Road at 6 a.m. on a Sunday, pretty dead. So it was a really quick trip. Now coming home, a different story. It was a little longer coming home than it was going there. But I still woke up super early. I woke up so early. How early was it? Like Dunkin' and McDonald's weren't even open. How early was I on the road? Not only was my Dunkin' and McDonald's not open yet, the McDonald's a half an hour drive in was still not open. I'm like, okay, I can wait a half an hour and I'll hit up, I think it's I don't know what the town is off the interstate. It's the Edgerton exit where my Wisconsin people at. But there's the world's largest Culver's is at this exit. Anyway, I pull off because there's a McDonald's there. And I'm like, I'm just going to do McDonald's. And I pull off. And all of a sudden I look over and guess what? The Golden Arches are dark. That means they're not open yet. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's still that early? I've been on the road for a half an hour. It's still too early for McDonald's to open? That's how early I was on the road. So where the hell did I stop? I think Janesville. So by the time I got to Janesville, which is only like another 10 minutes down the road, they must open earlier in Janesville. By the time I got to Janesville, McDonald's was open. I had my breakfast burrito, my sausage biscuit, my large hot coffee with 3 cream. We're still in the season where you have to say hot coffee, because many times I've ordered a coffee, even with 3 cream, and I get iced coffee. I'm like, I didn't want iced coffee. Oh, it's July. I just assumed. No, don't assume. You know what assuming does. So that was my trip. So yeah, my wife had her lady friends over Saturday night. What did I watched the Badgers. Oh my God, the fucking Badgers, man. What a shitty weekend to be. I can't say a Wisconsin fan because most people in Wisconsin are Packers fans. Fucking Packers, man. So the Badgers just laid an egg against Washington State. See, I was excited about the Badger season. I was excited about the Bears season, and both teams looked like shit this weekend. So I was disappointed. Saturday night football. I was disappointed with Sunday afternoon football. So I was hoping. The funny thing is when ladies have parties and this wasn't a party. It was a gathering. Like they make like this healthier stuff. They sit at a dining room table. The TV's not even on. And they sit and they have a meal and they talk. Like dudes come over and it's like, What do you fix? My wife will be like, so what do you got? What are you making for dinner? Dinner? I don't know. We'll order a pizza. I don't know. We hang out. We're on the couch. We got the TV going. We're watching a game, eating pizza, drinking beer, just being as unhealthy as you can be. It's fun. And I never noticed this until we actually we have like the husbands club and the wives club. So the husbands club is like my trivia partners. Like back when we used to play trivia. Now everybody's got popped out kids. COVID happened, kids happened. I think there's a correlation there. Not in this house. No kids here. So now we don't play trivia. But when we were playing trivia, we would have the wives would get together and they'd make salad and like boneless, skinless chicken and like all this like Martha Stewart recipes. And they'd maybe have light music on in the background. No TV, light music. And they'd have conversation. The husbands, we get together. We're at my buddy Jeremy's in his basement. He's got an arcade game with Street Fighter and NBA Jam. He's got freaking every video game console you can think of. He's got a big screen. He's got a theater room where we can watch a movie. And we ordered pizza and wings. I think that night was that night Casey's Pizza? I think we ordered Casey's Pizza. That was, by the way, that was I don't think anybody can, that was Bo's idea. Casey's Pizza and wings from they're Babes, not even open anymore. They demolished it and put up a freaking apartment high rise, I think. So we had wings and beer and pizza, gas station pizza. And one of my friends, Brad, goes, the women are like making salad and like chicken breasts. And we're eating pizza and wings. It's like, I think that's why dudes die early. Like, that's why men have shorter lifespans than women, because they're not drinking beer, eating pizza and wings, playing video games. They're having pleasant conversation over chicken breasts and salad. It's just the way the world works, I guess. So that was Saturday night. And then I woke up at the ass crack of dawn before McDonald's was even open on Sunday morning for my drive to St. Charles, which actually was a pleasant drive. It was much easier than expected. So that was Sunday. What else? I don't think I did anything else. I think I finished up getting some boxes ready. I took dollar boxes to the show yesterday as well. Took a couple new quarter boxes. I forgot my non-sport box, and I was so busy. I started early in the morning. I started like tracking like different. I like observational. Like, oh, this will make for good video observations. And there's like, and I count like jerseys. When I went to Italy, I was counting the number of baseball, because it's in Italy. The baseball's not big, but there's tourists. So it's like how many? But it's like the Yankees are big. For some reason, Levi jeans in Europe is like, I don't even know I'm like fashion faux pas over here. I don't know what the hell is in fashion, but everybody's wearing a Levi's t-shirt in Europe. And if you're wearing a ball cap in Europe, it's the Yankees. That's it. Like I don't think I saw anybody wearing a soccer hat. Like, I don't think that's a thing. But if you're wearing a ball cap, it's a Yankees hat. Maybe the Giant. I think I saw some Giants hats in Europe also. But anyway, I like to track that crap just because I'm weird like that. And so I started doing that, and then all of a sudden I got super busy. Like all of a sudden it was like a light switch, and boom, my table's filled. So I didn't have any observations. I can't remember where I was going with this story. I'll remember it. People were asking about like random sports. I had somebody ask about F1. That might be the first time somebody's asked about F1 since F1 was popular, because I don't think F1's popular anymore. I'm like, F1 is like a racing card for me. So that goes in that's on Kyle's shelf back in my basement. Because I just consider, if it's IndyCar, if it's NASCAR, if it's F1, if it's small town dirt track cards because I have some of those. That just goes in the NASCAR pile for Kyle. The Kyle pile. Somebody asked me for soccer, which I did bring my soccer box. Somebody asked for older non-sport, which I do have. But I didn't bring my non-sport box. And I didn't because I had 2 4-row boxes of non-sport, but I sold it all. I sold both boxes in full at the last Madison card show, which I want to share my thoughts on selling all of my inventory, which by the way, I didn't, but I think James actually asked me, he's like, do you have a price in mind if somebody asks to buy everything? And I do. And it varies. It varies on show. It varies on time when asked at a show. So I will touch on that today as well. So yeah, I didn't bring my non-sport box. Brought dollar boxes. I brought supplies. Supplies didn't sell. James bought a box of card savers. That's it. But I think there were 2 guys who were like BCW guys. I know my buddy Paul that's all he brought was supplies. And he was up front. So he got all those supply sales, which is fine because I just take what I don't need, right? And if when I run out, I've got that tub that I take to card shows and boom. Let's see. Because the only supplies I buy are supplies that I use. And it's like just extra. It's like, make a few bucks on this. Margins are super small on supplies. So let's see what else. We'll get into card show review. I don't think there was anything else because Saturday is basically all I spent was getting ready for the show. Let's go into the chat. It was a shitty weekend for football for me as a Badgers and Bears fan. Harlan's in the house. Good morning. How did your Mountaineers do? I didn't follow much college football on Saturday, despite being just hanging out. I didn't have much college football. I had the Cubs game on. I was watching the Cubs game. Saturday's game was disappointing. They got the win yesterday. That was a much needed win. But I didn't watch college football. In fact, in my Cubs group chat, we're all bitching because the Cubs lost. And I'm like, because somebody's like, they should have just sold at the deadline. I'm like, no, that's a shitty attitude. No. Because if the Cubs sold at the deadline, they'd suck. And I wouldn't be watching baseball right now. Like, this chat probably wouldn't exist because we're not bitching about lineups. I hate that. Like, I'd go find the Western Illinois. Actually, I'd probably, the Leathernecks, I don't even know what the finals. I know they lost to Illinois State. I'm sure it was a bloodbath because the Westerns projected to win 0 games, which I think matches what they did last year. That's when I worked at Western. One of the years I was there, we sucked like historically bad season. Like, I think like a lot of this is the lowest offensive output since 1966. Like, that bad. And I didn't like broadcasting college football. It was like probably my least favorite of all sports to broadcast, except for the one time I did, or the couple times I did volleyball. That was brutal. I preferred college baseball, and I didn't like doing baseball. I didn't like doing baseball. College football was off. Like, the atmosphere was fun, but the actual broadcasting of the sport, so long. My pregame show was long. I had to interview freaking 3 coaches every week. Halftime shows long and drawn out. You have to bring on like some random university person to talk about something you don't really give a shit about. I don't think half the listeners did either. It's like, we're going to go turn on the Alabama game. So college football, we had a shitty ass press box. Most high schools had better press boxes than the Hanson Field press box at Western Illinois University, which probably hasn't changed since I was there more than 10 years ago. And then to add on to that already dislike, you have a shitty season, a historically shitty season. And I think the Leathernecks are in for it again this year. Historically shitty season. Probably. This is the worst Western Illinois offensive output since 2012. Victor's in the house. What's up? Good morning. Big win for the Cubs yesterday. A big win for the Cubs. Kyle, good morning. Sad to say, I was thinking, I wonder if the Bears can beat the Giants. When looking at Cowboys beat down to the Giants recap this morning. Let's talk about the fucking Bears. Oh my God. So, and I've been very open with my thoughts on the Chicago Bears this year. And I've said all along, the Bears are going to be the NFC North champions. They're going to win 11 games. And they're going to win a playoff game. Playoffs. Jim Mora is like screaming playoffs when it comes to the Chicago Bears. They fucking suck. Oh my God. Did you watch that game? And I know I'm overreacting. It's Overreaction Monday. That's what every NFL fan does on Mondays when their team loses on Sunday. It's Overreaction Monday. And I understand. It's a long season, even though it's only 17 games. It's long when it's the NFL. Deep breath. Serenity now. But watching that game yesterday, like, a lot's got to change. And somebody mentioned it in a tweet, because I tweeted out my bold predictions. I wanted to make sure I got it in before the kickoff about my stupid ass predictions that aren't going to come true. I'm already waving the white flag. Like, okay, don't listen. We're not going to pin this tweet. We're going to ride the success of my Cubs tweet. We're going to forget about my Bears bold predictions. Somebody mentioned on Twitter, this is a lot like last year. And it was. Like, the results very similar to what we saw a year ago, despite spending money, having high draft picks, and all that. The offense, 20 points in the NFL is I don't know what the average is. Somebody go Google it. But that's probably, you're going to win most games if you score 20 points in the NFL. Maybe not quite, but I would say the chances are decent. But the chances are not decent when your defense gives up 38. Actually, I take that back. The defense probably gave up, 32? Because I think there was a pick six, at least one pick. I didn't watch the first half because I was on the road. I got home in time to punish myself by watching the entire second half of that game. I was so excited. Hey, I'm home. Second half. Like, I come home, say hi to my wife. How'd the show go? How was your day? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go watch the end of the Bears game. Come downstairs, turn the TV on. Boom. Kickoff. Second half. Timed it perfect. Perfect, my ass. That second half sucked. So the Bears suck. The Bears still suck. That's what my former coworkers, we still chat. They're, of course, Packer fans and Badger fans. So we usually chat about the Badgers, and then I usually give them shit that the Bears are going to beat the Packers, and then that never happens in the freaking 9 years I've been here. So I didn't say anything. I had nothing to say. What do you say to this? Fuck you. I had nothing to say. They said it. Pretty quiet over there today. I'm like, yeah, I'm just celebrating the Cubs win. And of course, one of the guys is a baseball fan, Brewers fan, of course. The other guy doesn't give a shit about baseball and Brewers. He'll give me shit if the Brewers beat the Cubs. But once it's football season, baseball's done in his mind. He's like, oh, I didn't know they were still playing baseball. Yep. So, yeah. Bears still suck. Packers still own the Bears. It's like, I have nothing to say. The Bears sucked yesterday. And unfortunately, it was exactly what we saw a year ago from this team. Despite having DJ Moore and defensive linebacker free agents and offensive line, even though the line didn't protect, the defense didn't defend. Somehow the Bears scored 20 points. Jesus Christ. I don't even know if I want to watch next week's game. Who do they play? Is it the Giants, what Kyle said? I think was salty Saturday morning. I'm just laying more salt today. Dropping F-bombs. Let's see. Next week. I don't even want to look at next week. Football. Where are we at? Leagues. NFL. There we go. Oh, and I lost in fantasy baseball, I think. Oh, it's the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I lost my playoff. It was playoffs. I even had the tiebreaker. So I lost 8-4 in my matchup. Jesus. Fuck. So, I even had the tiebreaker in fantasy baseball. So if it would have ended up tied, it was tied going into Sunday, and I knew like I'm probably going to lose. I didn't think I'd lose 8-4. I thought it was going to be like 7-5. Because he still had, I think, 2 starters going on Sunday. My starter, I had like my 3 best starters going Saturday: Justin Steele, Aaron Nola, and Logan Webb. And I think I led innings by 2. So innings is a category. I led by 2 innings, but he had 2 starters going Sunday. So it's like his starters have to suck, and I have to get a bunch of innings from my bullpen, which didn't happen. I lost in whip. What else? That must be the 2 categories. Yeah, that flipped. I was leading in those 2 categories and then flipped them. So lost 8-4. I had the tiebreaker. I was the number 4 seed playing the number 5 seed. So if it would have been 6-6, the tiebreaker goes to the higher seed. So it's like, well, so I had that going for me. And I lost. So there we go. Where are we at? David, what's up? Good morning. Matty Ice in the house. Go Cubs, go. We got to hear that song yesterday. Steel Cards 801. What's up? Good morning. Donald Davis in the house. We've got Angel Baby Cards out on the West Coast in Fresno. What's up? Mark Marinello, good morning. The Cowboys just scored again. There's that top cap, Jimmy Dean breakfast bowl, and a hot coffee. Max, good morning. I feel really, 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 really bad for you Bears fans. Yeah. Hey, Dan, what's up? I've got the Dan shirt on. Got the Korean cardboard Dan hoodie. It's going to be one of those. Today, the weather here basically mirrors my sports mood this morning. Shitty Badger game. Lost in fantasy baseball. Bears got fucking blown out by the Packers. And it's cloudy and rainy and 60. I don't know. It's probably 50 degrees right now. Just a freaking ugly, shitty day. Just to match my shitty attitude this morning. So I'm wearing a hoodie and shorts. I think it's only going to be 65 today. Yesterday was those typical Midwestern fall days where it was 50 degrees when I left, and it was like 85 on my drive home. It's like, what in the hell? What in the hell? I got to get my attitude. I need an attitude adjustment. Somebody smack me around. See, this is how you don't behave when you're in morning radio, because everybody else is like pissed off. They're, when you're doing a morning drive show, people are pissed off. They got to go to work, and if the weather's shitty, they don't want to hear a radio guy talking about how shitty their day is. See, I shouldn't be acting this way. I should be pumping you up for the week ahead. So shut up, Bo. You bitch. T206 kid, what's up? I haven't had luck at shows lately. A lot of the same dealers with the same stuff. Saturday, I spent $23. That's a bummer. So I talked to a couple people. I was disappointed with the selection in Oak Creek last weekend, but I talked to 2 different people who buy the same stuff that I do. They're like, "Oh, it was great." And again, I didn't get there till 12:30. They were there like doors open at 9. So, but by the time I got there at 12:30, it was picked through and nothing left. Yesterday's show, it was not a good show if you were a bargain boxer. There was not, I was about it when it came to bargain boxes. There were some other dealers that had bargain boxes, but I had the horseshoe. So I had baseball on one side. I had football right up front. That was my strategy since it's kickoff NFL. Early on, James was my only baseball, customer. And then, I had a lot of football, but the other side, I'm like, I'm just going to throw the random shit over here. The random shit, I think I sold more random shit than I did baseball and football. And random shit, I'm talking hockey, soccer, basketball. Like that side was like pretty busy. By the end, it was more baseball centric, but most of the day people were looking at what I thought was just cast off stuff. So that gives me hope for the next couple shows. Like, okay, maybe I start putting a little more emphasis on some of this other stuff. Good morning, Cooter. Cooter was at a show this weekend. How was your show? Zach and Porter in the house. Zach probably doesn't like my Bears attitude this morning. Rich, good morning. Like percent below the Mendoza line. Let's get that up. If my like percentage is gonna suck, today's the day, because it's just one of those days. Like I'm not gonna like this video. This guy sucks. His attitude's shitty. We're not gonna like his video. Hit that subscribe button. I'll be better tomorrow. Dorky Angler, good morning. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Absolutely. Well, my weekend was good with the exception of sports. It was a bad sports weekend. Everything else was great. Card show was great. Hail Mary hits, good morning. George in the house. What's happening, George? Red Light 34, good morning to you. Hit that like button. Thank you. Did I forget to mention the Packers game yesterday? Shut up, Max. Probably should have stayed in Green Bay and extended training camp against the third stringers for another week. Shut up, Max. Dorky Angler says the Renaissance Fair was pretty interesting on Saturday. They built like their own town with dirt roads that you walk around on with a bunch of different shops, lots of shows and food. That's pretty cool. Well, hey, I'm glad because I think you said it was your first time. So it sounds like it was a positive experience. Little culture. Dorky Angler's getting a little culture in his life. We like it. Brian Dean, good morning. Omaha. Dorky Angler. Then yesterday ended up selling 30 Allure hockey base cards along with some other cards. So that was awesome. Hockey Man. People are buying hockey cards. I sold more than $50, 50 American dollars on hockey cards yesterday. Granted, $50 was to one customer, but $50. Now, and he is the sole reason, my customer that bought $50 in hockey cards is the sole reason that I even spend time building hockey boxes. And I believe this is the first time because he always asked. Him and his son would come walking around, typically the Rockford show. And they'd ask like every year, do you have hockey? Do you have hockey? Do you have hockey? Typically the answer is no. And I'm like, I've got hockey. And I would tell him a few times, I've got hockey. You're the only one that asks. So I'll start and I would put and I would have hockey. Like, it's not like that I was ignoring him not building hockey, but it's out of sight, out of mind for me. So when I would come across hockey that I could put in a quarter box, I would put it in the non-sport stuff. It wasn't a non-sport box. It was just other. It was basically an other box. Non-sport, soccer, tennis, NASCAR, hockey, all of that. And I think one time he did come around and he bought like $3. And I only had like a stack. And he bought like $3 worth of cards, which for us, that I'm like, oh, okay. So I start putting boxes together and I never saw him again until yesterday. I'm like, finally. And by this time I had 2 boxes built and he freaking wiped me out. Although I did sell a lot of hockey at the last Janesville show. But I had it loaded with like 70s and like there was a bunch of good stuff that if I could have definitely made decent money if I listed it on eBay, like low roller scratcher always tells me, hockey and soccer. But I don't know it, and I just, I'll throw it in the quarter box. Because basically, if I have hockey, it's at no cost to me. Because I'm not going out buying bulk for hockey. Like if there's hockey and soccer in a bulk buy, to me, it's like I'm not gonna even consider that a part of the purchase. That's just junk. Zero cost. So I'll throw it in a quarter box and it's profit. That's how I see it. So he came across and I had, and then I consolidated the 2 boxes and I basically had they were 4-row boxes. So of the 8 rows, I had like 5.5 rows left. And I went up and he was also set up as a dealer. I think first time I've seen him set up as a dealer. And so I'm like, hey, I've got about 5 to 6 rows left of hockey. I'll sell it all to you for $50. And he's like, no, he's like, to be honest, he's like, I only pick out he's a Penguins fan. So Penguins and Penguins alumni. And he's like, so I took everything that I needed out of there. I'm like, oh, okay. So, but that's good to know. So I'll be looking for Penguins cards, and I'll probably see him at the Loves Park show. My next show, I think I have to edit the banner because I've got St. Charles. Let's edit this. Drop my bargains at, let's see, at the Midwest premiere on Saturday and Sunday. There we go. Let's do a little live editing. Save, and let's show that banner. So there you go. My next show will be in 2 weeks. The Midwest premiere. It's a 2-day show, the 23rd and 24th, Indoor Sports Center on that cushy soccer turf field with the sports bar up above in Loves Park, Illinois, which is Rockford. So now I know, Penguins, boom. And if I come across any other hockey, I'm sure there might be a couple other people looking for hockey. Who knew? So I was happy with that. Where are we at? Flawed Thinker, good morning. Go Redskins. I didn't follow NFL. See, I don't play fantasy football because I suck. Why? I suck at fantasy football because I make stupid predictions like the Bears winning 11 games and winning the NFC North. See, that's why I lose at fantasy football every year. I'm just football dumb. So I didn't follow the NFL. I followed, unfortunately, the one game that pissed me off, the Bears and Packers. The rest of the games I didn't pay any attention to, which I should. So I know who to sell. Did Tua do something? Because I sold a lot of Tua cards yesterday. Who else did I sell? I sold some other stuff. So I didn't really pay attention. I'll have later on today, I'll throw Sports Center on, and I'm sure that's all they'll be talking about. James, Bears D made Love look good, bear down. Yeah, Jordan Love did look good. Jordan Love did look good. And even when the defense was kind of like collapsing on him, there was that one throw. It was like Patrick Mahomes-esque where he was getting flushed, and then he just kind of flipped it in the air. And the wide receiver did his thing too. I mean, it wasn't all Love. The wide receiver, I don't know who it was. I was going to say Bill Schroeder, but I'm kind of dating myself on that one. That was 15 years ago? I can't remember who the wide receiver was, but he kind of backpedaled, caught the fucking ball. And that's how the game went. Finishing installing my car lift in the garage. Holy shit. So I went ahead and changed my oil and my brakes. It's so cool to walk directly under your vehicle and not be uncomfortable on your back. Yeah. So my dad put a car lift in the garage. My dad was a gearhead, and I couldn't even tell you where to check the oil in a car. Like, I don't know. Like, that's what they do at Quick Lube. I don't. So he had a car lift, and he restored a lot of classic vehicles, but he had a car lift, and it was like friends would come over, and like my friends, like once we were, driving age, like, oh, hey, can I come over and use your dad's car lift? It's like, don't ask me. I don't even know what the fuck a car lift is. Ask my dad. My dad's like, yep, just don't break anything. See, I changed my oil. I go to Quick Lube. I am not again. That's like my dad. Like, my dad restored cars, and I couldn't even tell you where the oil went. Where's the transmission? I don't know. It's under the hood somewhere. Do cars even have transmissions anymore? Probably. Carburetor. Is that a thing that exists anymore? See, that's my knowledge. None. No knowledge of car stuff. I've never changed oil. I've never changed my own tire. That's what AAA is for. I got a flat tire. I ran out of gas. I've ran out of gas more times than I'd like to admit. I like to play the game. I like to know how many miles I can go before running out of gas. Sometimes you just have to take those chances. It's like, well, I know. I get to 0. I know I still got a few trips back and forth to the post office because it's even shorter now. It's like, this is my 3rd trip to the post office and back. I better go fill up. I've been at 0 for a couple days. I know that's not good for your vehicle either. I know the gearheads are out there. You can't do that. That'll ruin your car. Happy Monday, grinding for good. What's up? Dorky Angler says, also won a bunch of lots on eBay as well, including a 184 card 2008 Heritage Chrome Refractor lot. That's a nice. See, lots are the way to go on eBay. People ask, should I sell lots on eBay? No, not at auction. You can sell lots as buy it now because you have control of the price. But auctions, unless you want to lose, if you like losing money, which by the way, auctions, I'm running auctions. My sales are down in the last week. My auctions end tonight. I ran 216 auctions. Well, that'll bring more traffic to your store. Wrong. My traffic is down over the last week. Let's see. Let's go the time that I started those auctions, September 4th. Not down crazy from the week. It's down 7% from the week before. Down 7% from the week before. I think there's 36. So out of 216 auctions, I think 36 have bids. Link to my eBay store is in the description. You'll probably get some good deals because all of my auctions are 99 cents with free shipping. That means if they go for 99 cents, I lose money. So go bid on some items, help me lose money. Where are we at? 216 auctions. I have 32 that have bids on them. So there's actually there's an autograph. I think it's Fred Lewis of the Giants, an autograph. It was listed as a buy it now in my store for $3.50. I think at least yesterday, the bidding was up to like $3.04. And I'm like, hey, that's a win. That's a win. So go to my eBay store, 99centcards.com, or link in the description. Auctions ending tonight. You might get some bargains because there's only 36 items with bids. 32 items with bids out of 216 auctions, and they're all 99 cents with free shipping. Check out my auctions. There you go. Another reason auctions suck. Don't do them. Didn't lead to an increase in traffic. In fact, my traffic in my eBay store decreased since the auctions went live. And I've got a pretty shitty percentage on auctions with bids. And in those, there's about 12 hours, I think less than that, 11 hours left in those auctions. James says the fanny pack boys love F1. I don't see too many F1 fans. If F1 is just like dead. Like I was shocked when somebody came up and asked if I had any F1. I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing. Like I would have been less shocked if somebody came up and asked me if I had any Brian Taylor cards. That would have not shocked me. Actually, it would have, but not as much as F1. Like F1? No, I've got some Brian Taylor and Kevin Moss. Max, we're going to ignore his comments. Good morning, JW. What's up? Red Light says, did you buy any cards? I did not buy a single card. 2 shows in a row where I did not buy a single card. I went in with no intentions of buying, which typically means I end up buying a bunch. No, didn't spend a dime. Only thing I bought at the card show was a coffee. And it was a 2 coffee card show because I was up. I didn't get good sleep. 2 nights in a row, I haven't gotten good sleep. So I didn't get good sleep. Had my coffee on the road. And then it's like, I texted. And by the time it was so busy, I texted Mike, one of the promoters. And I'm like, hey, can you go get me a coffee? I've got, like, usually I could just leave my table because if James is there, if there's other people that I know there, like there's like 2 or 3 guys, but I know that it's not a trust issue. It's that I know they're going to be there for a while. So it's like, hey, I'm going to go get a coffee or go to the bathroom. But when you have 10 people at your table and 7 of them you don't know, they may only be looking to cash out right now. Like, but I know if there's, I know how many of my customers, because typically it's mostly return customers at my table. So I know it's like, oh, hey, I'm going to run, and I know they're not going to be ready to check out. But when you have like 10 people at your table, you can't just walk away and get a coffee. So I'm like, I've never had this many people. I don't think I've ever had that many people at my table at one time. And consistently from like 9:20 a.m. up until about 1, I had between 7 and I think the most I had at my table was 14, which was 7 to 14 people the entire day, which was awesome. It wasn't the most money I've made at a show. It may not have even been top 5. I mean, it was more than I expected. It did surpass what I was expecting to make. It might have been a record for transactions, or at least top 3, not dollar wise, but top 3 in quantity of transactions. Because I think I did over 40 transactions. And they were mixed. Like, I think my biggest transaction, I did multiple $50 boxes, like where people filled a box for $50. Did multiple of those. I think my last transaction of the day, and I was trying to get to a number, and I was like $40 short. And I'm like, this guy's been at my table for like 2 hours. And I'm like, but you never know. Sometimes people are only looking for certain cards, and it could be a $3 sale. Especially if they're like set builders. And he ended up having like $60 worth of cards. And I'm like, I'll do 50. And he's like, well, you do 45. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do 45. So he's like, I only got 4 1s, unless you want to break it 20. I'm like, you know what? Just give me 44. Just give me 44. I'm not going to break it over $1. So did not buy any cards. Only thing I bought was a coffee. Mark, if the Cubs sold at the deadline, they would be the Mets. Yeah, you're right. Wouldn't want that. Same old Broncos. We dropped our kicker in the offseason and picked up some guy who missed 2 field goals his first preseason game, then gets some other schmuck and he misses a PAT and a field goal in game 1. Lose by 1. That's brutal. That's almost worse. I think that scenario is worse than the Bears just going out, laying an egg, and getting blown out by the Packers. I think the Broncos situation might be worse. That's just absolutely frustrating because that's preventable. Like, getting blown out in week 1, like, it's week 1. You've got a whole new cast of characters. It's the fucking Packers, though. I'm a little bitter this morning. Flipping Sports Guy says he hates week 1 of the NFL. It's great that it's back, but it's always the worst week of football and won't change till these guys get some preseason reps. That's a great point, because starters are playing less and less and less. There's like no emphasis on preseason, which I don't mind, but the result is a shitty week 1 and maybe even a shitty week 2. So yeah, I'm and maybe it is overreaction Monday. And I am overreacting. I understand. But I think Paul's exactly nailed it on the head. I think a lot of this has to do with, like, there's no emphasis on preseason football anymore, which from a viewing standpoint, it's big money, so it's always going to be on TV. They're going to put it on TV because people will still go to the games, buy the tickets, watch it on TV. I understand. It's all business, but I don't watch it anyway. And that's the thing. Like, why should I even be upset about it? Because I don't watch it anyway. Maybe it's just the tease, but you're exactly right. I think because it's less and less like, oh, these guys aren't playing, they're only going to be running, which is kind of nice. You get to see in-game action, but again, your second and third stringers, if they have a breakout game, they're having a breakout game against other teams' second and third stringers also. So, like, you really don't get a gauge on, Tyson Bagent, the Bears undrafted free agent who is now, I don't think he was he the backup? I don't know. But, and I want to speak to Tyson Bagent for a moment, but, he's having his success against second and third stringers. It's not like he's having success against starters. So you throw him out against starters and the results might not be good. So speaking of Tyson Bagent, so I bought a week or two ago, I went to Walmart. I had to get envelopes, and they had Score football. Tyson Bagent, who like all of a sudden it's like, oh, we got to go find Tyson Bagent cards because Score is the only product he's in. And I waited to open them, which if I wanted to find Tyson Bagent cards and sell them 2 weeks ago would have been the opportune time, or just hold until, if he gets some playing time. So I'm watching yesterday's pitiful, awful, terrible, no good game. I'm like, I need something to distract me. So I had 5 packs of Score football that I had bought. I'm like, I'm just going to rip these. Guess what I pulled? 0 Tyson Bagent cards, but I got an auto. Sam Laporta. And I looked it up. I'm like, it's some tight end for the Lions. Like, this is a shitty card. I looked it up. It's a $30 card. It's like the green variation auto. I'm like, shit. This paid for, I think it paid for all the packs. It might have been 40 or $45 for the pack. 5 packs. I think they were like $8 or $9 a pack because they're like the jumbos. So almost paid for all the packs. And then there's a Mahomes that I've got a guy that buys Mahomes for like 75 cents a card. So there's 75 cents. I'll list the rest maybe later today. Since we're now in football season, there's some rookies. I don't know. It's Score. I know it's like it's the redheaded stepchild. Apologies to the gingers out there listening. It's the redheaded stepchild of NFL products. But since the NFL products are up in the air right now, maybe it's, I don't know. I haven't looked any. That was the only comp I looked was that Laporta auto. So I'll be putting that up. So anyway. Did some ripping. Dorky Angler. Failure of the weekend, though, is definitely Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They looked brutally awful. Interesting. See, I didn't follow any. I know the Lions beat the Chiefs on Thursday night. I don't know what happened Sunday outside of the Bears-Packers game. Angel Baby's back with his coffee. The Card Hobbyist is with us. Good morning. Max says, I picked the Packers to finish last in the North as well. Lions, Vikings, Bears, Packers. But Jesus, now switch the last 2 for sure. So, yeah, my overreaction Monday, the Lions look like they might be for real. And I know the game against the Chiefs, but I mean, I was pretty high on the Lions. I thought the Lions, like my stupid prediction was the Bears winning, but I think I probably, and I never really played it out, but I would have said it's going to be the Bears, Lions, Vikings, Packers, somewhere in that order. Because I didn't have any, not because I hate the Packers. I just didn't think the Packers would, and maybe they're not good. And maybe Max is right. Maybe it's going to be Lions, Vikings, Packers 3rd, Bears 4th. After yesterday, I mean, that would seem to be the case. So we'll see. Again, apparently I know nothing about football. My fantasy football track record will prove that. Brian Wolf, I'm a 49er fan with Dolphin season tickets. Had a great day yesterday. I'm glad somebody did, besides Max and other Packers fans. Donald, what's up? You are a fib because you were bad-mouthing the Packers. Now, I am a fib. I wear it with a badge of honor. Keep the fibs out. That's my trivia team name. Keep the fibs out. I'm a fib. I'm definitely a fib because I like all Chicago teams. So even though I've lived here 9 years in Wisconsin, I am a Badger fan, but that's not enough because I root for the Bears, Cubs, and I guess I would root for the Bulls if they were playing the Bucks. I tried to become a Milwaukee Bucks fan, but I just can't. It's like if I'm going to root for somebody, it's going to be a Chicago team because I don't care about the NBA. Flipping Sports Guy, 20 points per game last season would have you in the bottom 3rd on average points per game. Okay, somebody Googled it. Thank you. I thought it would have been. So I guess there's more scoring in the NFL than I thought. So 20 points is not a good offensive output, apparently. Max says, come on, you're from Illinois, not Philly. You'll still watch. I will. I will still watch because I'm dumb. From a Royals perspective, I find it funny the crisis that comes from the Chiefs losing one. It's overreaction. For the Chiefs, it's overreaction Friday. But we all over it because the NFL is such an abridged season. Is that the right term? Abridged. It's such a short season in terms of games being played. It's not like baseball where there's 162 games. There's only 17 in the NFL. So every game is like must win. Not to the point of college football where it's if you lose one game, it's disaster, season's over, literally. And I don't like that either. Kyle, Jordan Love and the Packers looked good, as did the Lions and Vikings. The Bears are going to struggle to win division games. I will unfortunately agree with that. Max says, Kyle, I don't think you watched the same Vikings game that I did. So I heard the Vikings did not look good. And Dorky English says the Vikings didn't look good either. They lost to the Baker Mayfield Bucks, LOL. Big Harv in the house, good morning. What's up, TD Sports Cards in the house? Dorky Angler says, I feel for your tough weekend, but damn, you were cracking me up. Well, hey, at least it provides some entertainment. Where are we at? Johnny M in the house. Good morning. Jets, Jets. Did the Aaron Rodgers Jets win? I feel dumb. I didn't even look at the scores. I feel football dumb this morning. Not just because I predicted the Bears to win the NFC North. Where's my damn score app? I like the Score app, not the Score Sports Radio Chicago, but the Score Sports app. All right. Oh, we got to go back to week one. Week one, let's see. We know that. Sunday. The Ravens beat the Texans 25-9. Falcons beat the Panthers 24-10. The Browns, yeah. Somebody earlier mentioned the Burrow and the Bengals. 24-3 to the Browns. I don't know. The Browns might be good. I don't know. I followed the Bears offseason closely, but not anybody else. 49ers beat the Steelers 30-7. Wow. Washington, the Redskins, we'll keep their name. Redskins, I know Flawed Thinker will like that. Beat the Cardinals 20-16. Buccaneers Vikings was a close game, 20-17, but like somebody said, it was Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. Jaguars beat the Colts 31-21, and I think aren't those two teams or is it the Panthers and Colts that are kind of like in Cardinals? What was the Cardinals? Oh, that was because I think the Cardinals are like isn't it the Cardinals and Colts are like projected to be the worst teams in the NFL? Let's see. Okay, so the Colts lost. The Saints edged the Titans by 1. That's an awkward football score. 16-15. The Saints went marching in. Raiders beat the Broncos by that 1 point, 17-16. Dolphins beat the Chargers. A lot of close games, 36-34. Rams beat the Seahawks 30-13. Let's see. Eagles beat the Patriots 25-20. And the Giants 40-0 to the Cowboys. So let's see. How many teams scored less than 20 yesterday? So there's several teams scored 20 on the dot. The Bears, the Chiefs, the Commanders, and the Patriots. And I think all of those teams that scored 20, two of them actually won. The Commanders won with 20 points, and the Buccaneers won with 20 points. And then you had those teams with 20 points was kind of middle of the road in yesterday's action. Kind of middle of the road. All right. Big Harv says, I feel like we went back to the 90s with the Cowboys and 49ers dominating. Yeah. And they haven't been, I guess the Cowboys haven't been, that great lately, but the 49ers have been pretty good. But I don't care. I was kind of I was a Joe Montana fan as a kid. So I kind of they were kind of my secondary team growing up. The 49ers, the Joe Montana 49ers. And I liked Roger Craig because there was a Roger Craig sports bar in one of the riverboat casinos in the Quad Cities. Roger Craig was from the Quad Cities. And there was a commercial, and I think it was early on, and it was the Roger Craig Sports Bar. And it was Roger Craig saying, the Roger Craig Sports Bar. I wonder if I can find that on YouTube. Hey, speaking of, I do have some good news. I think I've kind of talked about the Kane County Fairgrounds show. I want to talk about card porn a little bit too. Not today. But I do want to talk about because I think there's some really wacky I think the card porn stuff, I think there's a lot more to I think the card porn stuff that's going on is an iceberg. We're only seeing the tip right now. And I think there's some characters involved. Not involved with the scams per se, but I think there's some I think there's tentacles, and I think there's like multiple parties involved with card porn. And I think there's secondary stories to that story where it's not a scam, but it's like, as AIH Sports would say, hanky panky. I think there's definitely some hanky panky going on. And I'm not going to say anything because it's just purely speculation on my point. And I don't want to just libel, slander, whatever people. But I think there's some shady shenanigans going on. Roger Craig Sports Bar. That's what I was looking up. Roger Craig Sports Bar. I saw AIH has been doing a lot of card porn videos. When I typed in YouTube, one of his videos popped up, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, there's no Roger Craig Sports Bar commercials, but take my word for it, Roger Craig Sports Bar, because he's like looking off like he's Roger Craig Sports Bar. Anyway, hey, good news today. I checked my email, and I was very happy to see an email from Topps Shop. And the subject was, "You're the Topps company. U.S. order has shipped. Bowman Chrome, baby. It's on the way." UPS, let's type it in. Hopefully it's out on the road soon. And I get it Wednesday. We'll see. UPS tracking. Track via UPS. Label created. Damn. Hasn't been picked up yet. So I assume it'll be picked up hopefully today and hopefully on my doorstep Wednesday. Bowman Chrome, I will rip it live. I ordered a hobby box and an HTA box. I was talking to James yesterday at the card show. It's a gamble, man. Bowman Chrome has become the product of like teenage international free agent signings from last year. So they're like 17, 18-year-old kids with these super dumb expectations on them. Oh, this guy's the next Alex. He's baby A-Rod. No, he's not. So we'll do some ripping later this week. Bowman Chrome. Hopefully it's on my doorstep Wednesday. We'll see. Steve, what's up, buddy? Good morning. Can't stay long, but wanted to drop in and say hi. He's probably gone already because let's see. That chat came over about a half an hour ago. Thanks, Steve, for stopping in. Flipping Sports Guy. Someone sends Cena to Bo's house. Bo can't see him, but he'll give him an attitude adjustment. You can't see me. You got a Missy Elliott the day. Flip it and reverse it. Let's see. Quick question. Do you have any thoughts about selling cards on OfferUp? No. I've never even been on OfferUp, so I don't know anything about the app. So I have nothing for you. Kyle says, I was comparing the Vikings to the Bears. The Vikes have flaws for sure, but as a Bears fan, the Vikings look like a Super Bowl contender. Okay. I didn't watch it, so I can't say. But other people said they didn't look good. Randy, the bargain boxer, he gifted me with a Bill Buckner rookie card. So thank you, bargain boxer Randy. Great seeing you. I'm not sure how you did at the show, but it was not a good bargain box show, in my opinion. I didn't really see much. A lot of the dealers I know from doing other shows, the new dealers that were there that I hadn't seen before. There was a dealer who had like some killer vintage. He had a 45 World Series ticket. I didn't even ask. There was no price tag on it, which means it's too much for me. I didn't even ask what the price was. I do kind of know the price range on it, which it's too much for what I want to pay right now. But I think it's probably just going to go up. There was a lot of cool stuff, but for bargain boxes, not much bargain boxes. Johnny Boy Cards, good morning. Feel your pain. Oh, I think the only thing worse than the Bears fans on a Monday morning after that loss yesterday is to be a Giants fan getting absolutely demolished by the Cowboys. That's tough. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, Giants fans. Since my computer is down, I'm not scanning and using Card Dealer Pro for now. Bummer. Dallas show had much lower energy than I have experienced before. Fewer tables, seemed like fewer people. Heard lots of dealers complaining that people were not buying and only wanted to sell trade. that was a very similar reaction in just talking with a couple people yesterday. One of the guys that I was talking with, he goes to a bunch of the big shows. He was at Burbank, and he said, I'm like, how was it? Because I've heard mixed reactions to the most recent Burbank show. And he's like, a lot of tire kickers. He's like, it's just that time of year, people aren't really buying. So I kind of heard that. Like I said yesterday, from a bargain box standpoint at the show yesterday, and here's the thing about shows in bargain boxing. Location doesn't matter. If you have, and sometimes it's like, well, maybe if I'm here, you have to have the customers. And it comes to like my boxes, you have to dig because it's not organized. So you have to have customers looking for bargain boxes and the customers that want to dig. And it doesn't matter where you're at. If they're familiar with you, or if they find some stuff right away that they like, they'll continue to dig. It doesn't matter where you're at in a room, they will find you. There's no such thing as a bad spot in a room. If you have a bad show, it's the onus is typically on the dealer. And I think I've learned this doing the Janesville show. I've had some Janesville shows that most of my shows at Janesville, it's getting better. But the first several that I did, terrible. And I was the first show I was in the back corner. Well, you were in the back corner. There was a lot of other bargain boxes. And so, bad location. So the next show, I was out in the hallway. I did even worse than the time before. And then the next show, I was in the back on the other side. And I did even worse than before. It's not about location. And it wasn't about what I had. I had good boxes. But I didn't have the customers that wanted to buy or dig through my boxes. It doesn't make it a bad show. Doesn't make it a good show. It's just, it is what it is. Sometimes the clientele is there to buy. Sometimes they're there to dig. Sometimes they're not. So yesterday I was on the far back wall, but I didn't have any there was a lot of people, and there's been a lot of people at other shows where I've done shitty. But there was a lot of people, and there was a lot of people that wanted to dig through quarter boxes. And that makes for me a great show for me. But, if you have a showcase with no prices or a showcase that's overpriced, you have a shitty show, it doesn't matter where you're at. You're going to have a shitty show. Some dealers, they're right up front and they complain. Well, I'm right up front, but people just walk by because, I'm up front and they just want to, capture them because you have first. You're first on the market. That's on you. If you're right up front and people walk by you, it's not because of the location and you're too close to the front door. It's because you don't have shit people want. Location doesn't matter. Unless you're in like a broom closet down the hallway. Location might suck. I want to go back to this. Okay, so I will tell you, at the show yesterday in St. Charles at the Kane County Fairgrounds, the energy raised the roof. Do the kids still say that? Probably not. They said it in 1995. We were raising the roof in St. Charles. High energy. Energy was in the room. And I think part of it had to do with football, Bears-Packers. It was a 3:00 game, so people came out. They could leave by noon and still have plenty of time to get in front of their TVs. I didn't hear, and again, every show is going to be different. I didn't hear any dealers complain about, and I didn't have much time to walk the floor. I had time like right at 9:00 after I set up. I walked the floor, talked to some dealers I knew, kind of looked around to see if there was anything that I might be interested in. The rest of the day, I didn't have time to talk to anybody. The few dealers that I did chat with throughout the show and after the show all had rave reviews. Nobody that I had talked to reported poor sales. But I did hear the like tire kicking, from other shows. There was another show in the suburbs, in the Chicago suburbs on Saturday. I heard it was similar to what Cooter said Dallas was. Low energy, low traffic. And somebody that I talked to said, yeah, I was a little concerned after going to that show yesterday with this being a Sunday, first week of the football season. Not the case, man. I was highly impressed by the turnout. It was packed. Great show at the Kane County Fairgrounds. Talking Tati says the eBay coupon mailing resulted in a few multiple sales. Raise the roof. Yes. An 8 and a 10 and a few 2s and 3s. Not too shabby. Just shy of 50 cards sold Saturday and Sunday combined. Thanks for the listen. You bet. That's awesome. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. NHL preseason games start next week. That may be why it's selling right now. Well, I don't think the season has anything to do with, because I may have sold $60 worth of hockey, but 50 was in one transaction, and that guy would have bought it whenever the offseason is in hockey. Whenever the lowest, like when nobody's buying hockey, he would have bought the same. He would have bought $50 worth of hockey cards. The hockey I sold a couple weeks ago or a month ago, it was just like highly underpriced. Because, I mean, I'm talking like 70s that were in good shape. I could probably sell for $3 or $4 on eBay. Stuff that I look for, if it were baseball, I'd be like pulling them out of the box. So I don't think seasonality has to do with what I'm selling hockey-wise, because of A, what I had in those boxes, and then B, most of what I made yesterday was from a buyer who would have bought it no matter what time of year it was. Angel Baby says, thing is, Cooter, because of the new tech, which is scanning, suddenly what we're seeing is truly the real result of oversaturation. There you go. It's kind of like hyperinflation meets sports card selling and trading. It's just part of the ebb and flow. And we see it throughout the year after year after year. There's ebbs and flows. The next Dallas card show could be off the hook and crazy busy, high energy. This is typically, and I think that's another reason I was surprised. This is kind of like the one of the worst times for card shows is August, September. And you think the summer, but because there's a lot going on, and usually, like, I would say June through September, October is kind of, I would say through October is kind of the dog days of card shows. August is huge for football sales in my experience. And then September, October, last year, September, October, like, was worse than my June, July shows in Madison. That's one show. But I had other shows that I set up at that were kind of weak. And then all of a sudden winter hits and boom. And by the time we get to January, February, March into April, those shows are packed. And then May, and then you start to see that slide, and then the summer months. And then all of a sudden we start by October, November, we start creeping back up. We peak. And that's kind of the new ebb and flow. Obviously, COVID affected that because there was no shows for a year. And then we had the boom where we can't quantify what happened because it was just a wild and crazy time. Dorky Angler says, maybe this is your year, Bo, to pick up hockey and just ignore the bear season. No, not a chance. Not a chance. Though most people won't tell you it's a little weak for a grown man to have no mechanical prowess. Just saying. Angel Baby, I'm 41 fucking years old and I can't change oil or change a tire, and I don't give a fuck. And my wife doesn't give a fuck. So if it's a little weak, I don't give a fuck. That's my thought. And Angel Baby, that's the dumbest thing ever. Car stuff does not equal being a man. No. And guess what? I'm one of those guys too. So suck it. That's what I have to say. If you think I'm weak, then fuck off. That's what I have to say. I'm not saying that to you, but I might be. If you think I'm weak, then fuck off. Was thinking of running some auctions starting tonight. May have to rethink it. Man, auctions suck. Auctions suck. Auctions suck. It's called not being interested in it. I hate car crap too. Don't care to learn it. Someone else can change all the crap. Exactly. Exactly. Maybe the Bears should have played the home high school team. Then they may have won yesterday. Yeah, the Bears fucking suck. Glad you had a good show yesterday. The Bears still suck, even if you ignore me. Had a first-time promoter show on Saturday. Went okay. Oh, Marshfield. How was? Yeah, I was curious how that went. First-time shows are like it's a crapshoot. Like you never know how a first-time show is going to do. Let's see. Johnny M doesn't work on cars either, but did 40 years as a union plumber and also can do carpentry and electrical. Just hate working on cars. Yeah, I can't do any of that shit. I can't do any of that shit. And I don't want to. I chose not to. You know, my dad worked on cars, painted. And I saw what it did to his knees and to his back. And I don't want to fucking be half paralyzed by the time I'm 50 years old. And, you know, I'd rather work at a desk in my basement selling baseball cards, being a weak little man. Car stuff equals having applied knowledge of that which moves a person from place to place. So does the critical thinking of how do I get from place to place? Using your mind. How do I get from point A to point B? Having no knowledge of machinery makes you either as lame as a chick or that's a fucking stupid thing to say. Fuck that. I'm just going to ignore the rest of your shit. Dan, good morning. Had to miss the Syracuse State Fair card show due to coaching yesterday. I was really hoping for a rainout. Let's see. Where are we at? Hello, a collector's dream. Good morning. Let's see. Where are we at? Dorky Angler uses score base cards. I use as protectors to ship cards. Maybe 2023 is a little different because we've got we've got like no other football cards right now. Lions picked up right where they left off last year. They looked good, and thank you for beating the Chiefs. I hope those Raiders fans enjoy their week 1 of first place. I like this comment. Hey, I trade the Packers win for a Badgers win too. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Hey, this morning we agree on something. Oh, that Badger game, man. So I feel the Bears game and the Badger game, I felt the same. So now, Max, that's how I felt. Your feelings toward the Badger loss on Saturday night is how I felt about the Bears loss on Sunday. All the folks who have watched Jordan Love up close over the last 3 years believe he can be a top 15 guy. I think I mean, top 15, there's only, 30 teams? Or is there 32 now? I can't remember. I mean, shit, he could be a top 10 quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. Burrow had 80 yards passing and was like 50% on completion percentage. Oof. Flawed Thinker says, made a 4-leg parlay of spreads and total points. I won 3. Nice. But lost 4 all by 2 points or less. My $1.50 bet would have won 165. Yep. Where are we at? Let's see. Okay. We can agree on this. Joe Montana is the man. Okay. We're on the same page there. Joe Olivo, good morning. Where are we at? Who had tentacles on their things Bo might say bingo card today? Tentacles. I like that term, tentacles. Last year, I bought a cool Miguel Cabrera Upper Deck card for $1. I then spent $19 to grade it, and it gemmed. Sold it yesterday for $65. Take those flips all day. Hell yeah. That's a win. That's a big win. AA cards in the house. Good morning. Victor, what's happening? Jets have Monday night. So who do they got? Who do the Jets have? The Bills. Oh, yeah. I remember because last week I was talking about running auctions, and I'm like, because when's a good time to run auctions? On the actual, it's a Monday holiday, because last Monday was Labor Day. It's like people are probably out grilling, drinking beers, being out, enjoying the last day of summer. So run auctions. Run auctions, he said. Didn't really work out. Let's see. In the last hour, have we got anybody trafficked over to eBay to bid on my auctions? running 216 auctions. Nope, still only 32 bids. Same dollar amount on those. Bummer, dude. What was good about the Vikings game was Kirk Cousins. The one good thing about the Vikings and their fans can't stand the guy. I don't understand. Max says, imagine that, people not buying because they're told to sell into the season, and football is now 80% of the spend in the hobby. Dealers, influencers do it to themselves. Yes. I had a few bad experiences with a couple dealers. That's not good. Prices were high as expected. It's weird that as a bargain boxer, I pay higher prices from card shows than my LCS. I can elaborate on the story if you want me to. Yeah, I would like to hear, and I'm curious. We can actually, if you want to shoot me an email too, I'd be curious on who those dealers were. I have 3 stories. If you in the chat want to hear, yeah, let's drop them in the chat. Let's hear them. Bargain boxes is about prices, has nothing to do with location. Yes. Yeah, I agree. And I think that's with any dealer table. It doesn't matter where you're at. People will find you. People will find you. Yeah, I'm with Max. Fire away. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Sales ebb and flow right on time with sports season transition. It's always like that. And it's all speculatory. I was having a conversation with my Cubs group. And there's a Justin Steele rookie auto superfractor that a Cubs collector has, but he's like, I'll sell if the price is right. And so we had like kind of a conversation on when is the right time to maximize your sale on it. Because right now, Justin Steele is okay. He's 1 or 2 in the odds to win the National League Cy Young. Blake Snell, Justin Steele, neck and neck. They'll probably have new odds out today. I think Mondays is when I've typically seen National League Cy Young odds. So last week, Justin Steele was like number 2 behind Blake Snell. Let's see, have they updated theirs? September 5th. So that's a week ago. 6 days ago. Come on, I want like the most updated number. I'm not seeing it. The lines? No. I don't know. If anybody can see something as recent as like the last 2 days, let me know. But anyway, I'm like right now, because the hobby is purely based on speculation. When is the best time to sell football? And when are the most people buying? You got to capture both sides of it. August. Speculating on the season, because by the time you get into the season, you know, the speculation, even if player X has an MVP like season, well, that's what we expected. So we were buying on the expectation in August. Now the speculation of the expected has become the expected, and it's, for whatever reason, that's just how the hobby works. And it's been this way for decades. So I'm like, you got to sell now, because other people are like, no, wait until he wins the Cy Young. No, it's too late. There's a higher price on speculation than actual performance. And that's been proven time and time again. Well, what if this prospect becomes the next, this guy who's a Hall of Famer? And then you go and look, it's like, oh, you can get a Wade Boggs, Ryan Sandberg, and I understand that cards are a lot different from 1983 to 2023, but like your price, the speculation price is way up here, and then the expectation price is down here. Speculation sells higher than expectation playing out. By the time he's won the Cy Young, the hobby's on to the next speculative investment. Who's going to be next year's Rookie of the Year? Who's going to be next year's Cy Young? So if you wait to sell it, you're costing yourself money. If you are willing to part with it, it's a tough decision. I'm like, I don't envy that position, because I don't want to be put in the position, because it's a one of one, it's a rookie superfractor. And as a Cubs collector, it's like, oh shit, how would I? Yeah, it's like you get $5,000 for it. Good money, but you might never see that card again. I'm not envious of that situation. So I said, keep, and he's not like, he's certainly willing to, because I think it's on eBay. He's certainly willing to take offers. And I said, can you please do an exercise and keep track of the offers that come in and the dates? And I'd be curious to see from the time you listed it as the season goes on and track, okay, this, another good start, got a higher offer. Oh, another good start before the season. Oh, now we go into the playoffs. Is there a higher speculative interest as we go into the playoffs? Okay, say he wins the Cy Young. Where are the offers now? I'd be curious to see, is the highest offer coming in now? Or is the highest offer going to come in the off season when it's out of sight, out of mind? Because Justin Steele's not going out and pitching. He probably hasn't thrown a pitch in a month, 2 months. Because I think those come out, the end of I think it's after Christmas when the Cy Young is announced. So, I mean, baseball season's been over for, almost 2 months. And for the Cubs, it might be 3 months. So that was just a conversation we had. Holy shit, Bo, I love it. Yeah, don't take it personal, but yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with some of those comments. First story, one dealer had cards in a $3 slot. I asked, is every card in the $3 slot $3? He said, if it doesn't have a sticker, yes, they are $3. I found one card and pulled out $3. The dealer said, can I see the card? I showed him the card and he said, I can't sell that card for $3. I need $30 for it. It did not have a sticker and was in the $3 slot. That's annoying as hell, man. It's like I understand, and as a bargain box dealer, I understand how shit gets thrown out of place. There'll be basketball cards in the football box, baseball cards in the hockey box, and it's all messed up. It's also why I like only having quarter boxes. Or if like yesterday, I had dollar boxes. Dollar box cards are in top loaders. And quarter cards are either not sleeved or penny sleeved. So it's an easy distinction. Okay, here's 25 top loaders and here's 25 penny sleeves, and $25 plus 25 times 25. That's annoying as hell. And I've run into that. Oh no, that's not. Well, it was in the $5 box. How come you're wanting 25 for it? It's like, okay, I don't want it for 25. I want it for 5. And I get things get mixed up, but it's frustrating because now you have a poor experience with that dealer. Sometimes you just got to suck it up in doing business and sell that card for $3. That card might not be worth 30 next month. It might only be worth 20, and it might still be sitting in your box because nobody wants to pay 20 for it. And I understand $3 may be way underpriced, but it's frustrating. And so that dealer has probably lost you as a customer, and you're not going to go back because you're going to go and you're going to see that dealer. It's kind of like I've had poor experiences. It's like, I'm not going to do business with them. And they lose a customer over situations like that. Let's see. Where are we at? Max says, I guarantee I feel worse about the Badgers, just not willing to talk about it yet. Hate how devastating one loss can be in college football versus the NFL. It is. Let's see. Max says, Brady is from California. He is and always will be bigger than Montana. Now, I do agree. Like, Tom Brady is now, I've always thought Joe Montana was the GOAT quarterback until Tom Brady became the GOAT. Tom Brady is the GOAT. Joe Montana, and this is all subjective. And how do you is it based on Super Bowl wins? Is it based on yards, touchdowns, blah, 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 blah. In my opinion, Tom Brady, number 1 quarterback, Joe Montana, number 2. After that, I don't know. Let's see. Bargain Boxer, what show were you at? I would honestly never give the dealer another chance. And I'd probably be in the same boat. Like, I wouldn't, if a dealer did that, and I'd be like, I'm not going to buy anything else from you or anything from you. I would be interested. How far behind? I'm getting caught up. Only 10 minutes behind in the chat. I have 2 more stories from the show yesterday if the chat is interested. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. Max wants to know. He was at the show I was at, Kane County Fairgrounds, St. Charles. Randy was my first paying customer. Thank you, Randy. Bought a few cards from me, gifted me a Bill Buckner rookie card. Sometimes what I like about setting up at shows is like the cards I pick up, I'll put them in a box. Like I didn't buy anything yesterday, but I did get the Bill Buckner from Randy. And then I'll have other, if I do buy stuff, like I had and I'll put it in a box and I have these storage tubs that I put like my empty boxes, like tape and markers and all that. And I'll put like anything I pick up, I'll put like in a, 400 count box or whatever. And like, that's usually where the Cubs stuff goes. And so I'm like, oh, I'll pick up a box like, oh, that's not an empty box. So I'll put this Bill Buckner card in this box and I open it up like, oh, sweet. These are Cubs cards that I forgot I bought a couple weeks ago. There was the vintage that I picked up at Janesville, the Red Hearts, which by the way, I'm finding many vintage duplicates now as I start to kind of wade through my Cubs cards. I thought I only had one duplicate tobacco card. It was it's up there, T206. Harry Steinfeld, I think. I also have a duplicate T205 Ed Realbach. I've always called him Ruelbach, but I did see a pronunciation and I've been pronouncing it wrong all this time. I think it's Realbach, Ed Realbach, or Realbach. It's a T205. So I had a 1 and an authentic. So once I hit 1 million, I'm going to go through and I'm going to sell off some of my extras that I can, turn that into, other stuff. A Cap Anson, for example. So anyway, moving on. Max says, where are we at? Oh, I don't want to get into that. I've said my piece. Where are we at? Okay, Bargain Boxer. We want to get to Bargain Boxer stories. Here's the second story from the show. I pulled one card from a bargain box. Nothing was priced, and the guy said, just pull what you like and we can talk. And when somebody tells me that, guess how many cards I pull? 0. It's like, no, you tell me, because sometimes I'm willing to buy. Like there was a dealer at the National. And it was vintage. And I'm like, so what's the price? Well, they're just all over the place. It just depends on what it is. And I'm like, that's not going to work for me. And so am I freezing on your end? I'm freezing on my end. Okay, now I'm better. So I'm like, that's not going to work for me. So you could make a couple $100 off me, or we could just part ways right now. I didn't say it like that. That's what I was thinking. And so I asked, and I think it was like his kid was running part of the table. And he's like, oh, I'll have to ask my dad. And so dad came over and he's like, well, it just depends on what it is. I'm like, oh. That's what the kid said. I'm like, okay, here's this box. If I fill this box, what would the price per card be? He's like, well, it just kind of depends. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to buy anything if that's what, if I don't know, I'm not going to fill this. I'm not going to spend 2 hours here and fill this box. And you're going to tell me it's $1,000, because that's not how I see it. And he's like, well, can you pull, you've kind of set some cards on the side. Can you show me what you would be pulling? So I had a stack of 10 or 15 cards. And I'm like, this is basically, this is what I've pulled so far. I would buy these. And then in these, vintage boxes down here. He's like, okay, so if you, fill this box, a couple hundred, I'd do $1 a piece. Perfect. That's okay. That's kind of what I was aiming for. Perfect. Little communication goes a long way. He could have stood on that pedestal and said, just depends. We'll work a good deal out. Well, a good deal to me and a good deal to him may not be equivalent to each other. And I don't want to waste my time digging through a box and be told a price that's not even close to what I was expecting. So I want everything to be up front. Okay, because I'm going to fill this box and I'm expecting this price. So if a dealer tells me that, I'm going to be like, it's not going to work for me. So Bargain Boxer pulled one card from the bargain box. Just pull what you like. We can talk. I don't like that. I pulled one card and asked how much, where are we at? He wanted, and the dealer said, oh, $1 or $2. Well, that's $1 in my mind. He flipped the card over and saw it was numbered of 8. Then he said, wait a minute, it's numbered of 8. I'll take $30 for it. Oh my God. Come on, dealers. Know your fucking inventory. Price your cards. Because if these two stories, if I was the bargain boxer and these happened with those dealers, I would not spend my money with them. And they would have lost me as a customer, where they could kind of like the story at the vintage. I would have just been like, oh, I'm not going back to this guy. Like, oh, he doesn't have prices. You know, I could spend $500 with him, or I could just walk away. And fortunately, we were able to communicate, and I spent $200-$300 with him. Where we at? Cooter says paying people to do things we don't want to or can't do is why we have an economy. Absolutely. Otherwise, we would be living in mud huts, spending all our time growing food to survive distribution of labor. Thank you. Max is going to play devil's advocate, and I think this is a scenario that played out for me in my example that I used a few minutes ago, where it was like a $3 box and a card got moved into another box. What if another customer moved cards? That's why I have everything labeled, and that's what you should do. So be like Max. If cards get misplaced, make sure there's a way to track. You know, a lot of dealers use those color labels. Like, okay, pink labels are $2, blue labels are $5, green labels are $10. And then if a green label card gets put in a $1 box, you know it's got a green label. This is not a $1 card. It should be in the $10 box. So even if it gets moved, you have a way to realize and not be like, oh, no, this is a $10 card, not a $1 card. Be like Max. Let's see. Where are we at? I think we're still talking about oil changes. Let's see. Max says, Randy must not have been seen the sign in front of Bo's table. Don't feed the animals, right? Let's see. Oh, Johnny M. Here we are. Johnny M says, have to disagree with that. When Brady played at a time when you got flagged for looking at the quarterback wrong, Montana played when quarterbacks got hit. Brady wouldn't have you can't compare eras. So maybe you just can't say greatest of all time. If we're gonna have to like nitpick like that, then there's not a greatest of all time, because times change. And you can't say Tom Brady wouldn't have lasted in the 80s, and you couldn't say Montana would have had the same success in the 2000s. So if you have to like grasp at straws to make these arguments, there's no such thing as greatest of all time, which it's probably more along those lines, because the game of football has changed so much in the last 20 years. I mean, the game has changed so much from Tom Brady's rookie year to his final season. And then other sports, basketball, Jesus, it's not even the same game as it was 25, 30 years ago. And then the game was nothing like it was in the 60s and 70s. Let's see. Dan says that was the booth by the sushi stand. Yes. And it ended up being a great booth. I spent like $300, $200 or $300 there. Got a whole box of vintage cards. Did really well. Let's see. Cooter says, if a dealer doesn't have cards priced, I don't stop at the booth. I'm kind of the same way, unless it's a card that I'll kind of gauge what the prices are. So say if it's the only way I'm going to ask a price is if it's like a Cubs card from the tobacco story. Randy, hit us up with that third story. I want to hear it. If a dealer, if it's a tobacco card that I'm looking for and it's like a 1 or a 2, because I know like 4s and 5s are probably going to be out of what I want to pay, not really overpriced, but for what I want in my collection. I want low grade so I can buy many of them, not just have one tobacco card that's a high grade. If I'll look at his other cards of similar, and if I feel that the other cards are overpriced, I won't ask. But if I see, okay, I think these prices are fair on the other cards, I'll take a look at Look at these. So, but typically I also don't stop. If I don't see prices, I'm like, I'm out. So price your cards. And I understand how annoying it is to price your cards. But it's how you make sales. I mean, because there's people like Cooter and like me that will walk right by. And we're not the only ones. A lot of people will not look at your cards if you don't have them priced. You are losing money. Price your damn cards. I know it's frustrating and annoying and takes a lot of time, but don't set up at a card show if you don't want to spend that time. It's a part of playing the game. Joey says, my biggest pet peeve is dealer with bargain, in quotes, boxes with no set prices. Pull out a stack and I'll work with you. No thanks. Nope. I'm walking away. I don't stop at bargain boxes that are sorted by team, sorted by set. Because in my opinion, the way I feel is, okay, those are probably going to be cherry picked. I'm not going to find deals. I feel like if it's not cherry picked or if it's not sorted, there's diamonds in the rough. But I'll also pull out a couple stacks. And if I'm going through, it's like, okay, there's nothing in here. I'm just going to walk away. Max says, if you're selling cards that far apart, label. If you're like, Bo, don't bother, but be willing to eat the difference. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. So we do want to hear Bargain Boxer's other story. And he says, Bo is going to love my third story. Now I'm kind of concerned. Now I'm a little concerned about the third story. So we'll see. Randy's going to share another story. I think it just popped up. Let's see. Yes, Bargain Boxer, these have been good. It's also, this is good. And because I know dealers listen to this show. Some that set up at my show and probably others throughout the country that set up at various shows. So I know dealers are listening. Dealers are watching. This is good information for dealers, right? Because this is the Bargain Boxer and his stories are coming from a customer perspective and how customers, share their stories that, like, okay, I'm not going to go shop with this guy because of this. I'm going to walk by this booth because your cards aren't priced. So it's a learning experience for the dealers. So where are we at? Okay. So Bargain Boxer says that $3 card that the dealer said $30 was not moved. $3 was his highest slot and had nothing under glass, so it couldn't have been moved. The dealer just didn't sticker it. Oh. So he just didn't know what he had. That's annoying. That's annoying. Angel Baby says, I too prefer a set no haggle price sticker. I hate when dealers say that's what it goes for on eBay, then sell it on eBay. You're not paying fees here and I pay cash, so you're probably not reporting it as income either. Minneapolis Kid says, one trick I use at estate sales or garage sales when people don't have things priced is to pick out some real obvious big ticket thing, something they have displayed up front, ask how much, then act disappointed and say, nah, do it a couple more times, then do the thing I really want. Then they might give me a good price. That's a pretty good strategy. I don't know if that would work at card shows. Have you tried that at card shows? I'd be curious if that works. Hopefully everybody has their cards priced. Then you don't have to deal with that problem. Let's see. Do you penny sleeve your quarter cards? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Initially, when I started my quarter boxes, I penny sleeved every damn card. I bought like 5 cases of penny sleeves. Penny sleeved every freaking card. It was annoying as hell. And then I start digging through more and more quarter boxes. It's like, I'm pissing away a lot of time. And kind of the turning point on deciding not to penny sleeve was because I do the fill a box. So fill a 100 count box for $20. Basically 100 cards, 20 cents each. So you're getting that volume discount. You fill this box for 30 or 40 bucks, you're getting, cards for 18 cents, 17 cents, 15 cents. The more you buy, the bigger a deal it is. What I started to see, and I think it was actually the Dollar Box on YouTube, was the first person to ask, could I take these cards out of sleeves? And to me, initially, I'm like, yeah, that's free penny sleeves for me. But he could get, say, an additional 10 or 15 cards. And so, 100 penny sleeves is, for me, 50 cents. But an additional 10 to 20 cards for him is an extra, what, $4 or $5. So I'm losing out on $4 or $5. I'm gaining just 50 cents in penny sleeves. So then I'm like, you know what? If people, and he wasn't the only one. Then I've, over the next, couple shows, I had other people. Can I take these out of the penny sleeves? Because I can fit more cards in these boxes and get a better deal. Get that price point down from 20 cents a card down to 15 cents a card. So then I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to piss around with penny sleeving. If they're going to take them out of the penny sleeves, just make it easier. So if they're in a penny sleeve, I don't take them out. I just put them in as is. So when I buy bulk, lots, there's a lot of like quarter cards that were in top loaders from stuff I bought at the National. I'll take them out of the top loaders. Now I'm using those old top loaders for my dollar cards. So that's kind of how I roll with the quarter boxes now. Johnny M says, haven't set up at a card show since the 80s when I used to sell my entire table within 2 hours and then go fishing. Good times. Let's see. Angel Baby says, should have seen the way I rooked this dumbass thrift store person who sold boxes of cards filled by a former collector for almost nothing. So almost 2 hours, a long show, made up for no show on Sunday. So long show. So hit the like button, and there's the dollar box. There he is. What's happening? Let's see. Oh, so that was we haven't even heard the third story. Okay, thank you, Randy. He was still typing away. So we're going to get Randy's third story. All right. By the way, hit that like button if you haven't already. Here's the third story. I picked 2 cards, not priced, so I had to ask for a price. I asked, what's the best he could do? He said, I can't sell those. Those shouldn't be in there. And he took them out. What the hell? You had some interesting things happen at the show yesterday. He took them out of my hand and put them behind the table. What the hell? I'm very curious. There was a lot of dealers there that because I don't do shows in that area. So there were a lot of dealers I wasn't familiar with. Can you shoot me an email and tell me, you probably don't know their names, but at least where their table location was? Because I'm curious on who they were. Because there are a lot of dealers that were set up that I do know, but I also didn't walk. Like I said, I didn't have a chance to walk the floor. So I'm not too familiar with who was where and all that stuff. That's interesting. That's interesting. Dollar Box says, now that I'm home full-time, I'm going to try to get on more regularly. Love it. He's watching on the TV. Very cool. Very cool. And Bargain Boxer has another story from Ship Shawana. If interested, go ahead. Start typing if you can. So as Randy's typing out another card show story, I will be at my next card show 2 weeks at the Indoor Sports Center, Loves Park, Illinois. That's just right next to Rockford. It's at the Indoor Sports Center, which it's on turf, so it's very comfortable, cushy turf. There's a sports bar, restaurant that overlooks the show floor. I love the venue. I love the show. Looking forward to it. I'll have not all new. I'll have some old stuff, but I will bring all new boxes. There'll be at least 2 new baseball boxes. There will be at least 2 new football boxes. There will be 1 new basketball, and I really hope I'm going to make a concerted effort to make a full box of hockey, because I know my hockey guy is going to be back, and he wants Penguins. I'll give him Penguins. So, and I'll have a new non-sport box. I don't know if hopefully in 2 weeks I can fill a 4th row and get a 4 row of non-sport. But right now I just have like most of a 3 row box. So I'll have non-sport. I'll try to replenish the dollar boxes. I ended up selling quite a few dollar cards. I had one guy, because I put some dollar cards in there that are worth more than $1, like $10 cards. I don't know if there were any $20 cards, probably not, but there were certainly a lot of $10 cards in my dollar box. One guy pulled out an Ellie De La Cruz Topps Pro Debut brick by brick insert, and he goes, he's like, I just want this one. I'm like, $1. And he goes, $1? He's like, really? That's all? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I know it's worth more than $1, but it's in my dollar box. And he goes, I've been looking for this. He's like, this made my day. I've been looking for this, and there's one on Amazon for $25. And I'm like, you can go to eBay and buy it for a lot cheaper, I think. But they're like $10. It's a $10 card on eBay. I'm like, there you go. You got a good deal. So I will have some good stuff in my dollar boxes. Hopefully get that replenished. I still need to get more stuff added. I need to get more stuff added to my eBay store this week. I haven't listed anything since like Monday and Tuesday last week. I've like added like 1,200 items to my eBay store. And then I was disgruntled and disappointed with the activity in my eBay store for having over 200 auctions and adding 1,200 items, and my traffic just plummeted. It's like, what the hell? This is not supposed to be how this works. But so I need to get back on track, get some more stuff added. Let's see. Bargain Box or Dollar Box says, my man, the Bargain Boxer always has great stories. Absolutely. Bargain Boxer says, yeah, go ahead. Give Dollar Box a sub. Thank you, Angel Baby Cards. eBay awaits. Bargain Boxer, we're waiting for your Ship Shawana story. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. I've got to do some shipping. I did a lot of shipping on Saturday. That's what I did. I did a lot of shipping. I got kind of a honeydew list. Okay, Bargain Boxer is going to save the Ship Shawana show for later since Bo is done. Okay, sounds good. My wife gave me a little honeydew list. We have fucking thistles growing all over the place. And she's like, if it's not raining, I want you to spray the thistles and pull some of the thistles out. I'm like, okay, but it's raining today. So thistle removal awaits until tomorrow. Dollar Box wants to road trip to Ship Shawana. Maybe. I've never been out there. I've heard mixed results on Ship Shawana. So it's the mixed results don't really have me itching to get out there. I've heard it's a good show, but I've also heard like, you probably wouldn't be good for bargain boxing. So I don't know. We'll see. I will road trip to Chicago for the Spectacular in November because I'm going to hit that show up. I'm still Dallas November. I'm trying to work something out for Dallas November. The big show, the first weekend in November. Still weighing things out. So we'll see. So like, subscribe, hit up my eBay store. Don't forget 216 auctions end tonight. I've got 32 bids. They're all 99-cent auctions with free shipping. So you get a great deal and I lose money. So go bid on my auctions. Help me lose money. So hit up those all end tonight. So hit up the eBay store. Like, subscribe. Tomorrow I'll be on time because I think I was a little late today. It's after 9 a.m. I got to eat some breakfast. So have a great day. Back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. See you then.